And he calls me into his office and he says, now Chet, this is exactly what he sounds like. In all my years and all the companies I've run, I've never seen anybody double business 3 years in a row. Are you sure we're not lying, cheating, or stealing? It's a real conversation I have with a billionaire.
Becoming a master is not about doing 4,000 things. It's about doing 12 things 4,000 times.
The Ultimate Sales Machine presents the CEO Mastery Show for entrepreneurs looking to grow faster, better, smarter. If you would like to have a profound breakthrough in your business, talk to our team live by visiting chetholmes.com/breakthrough. Good advice is contextual. Get your answers at chetholmes.com/breakthrough.
Fantastic. All right, so this is called the best buyer strategy. It's the fastest, least expensive method for doubling sales. I've used it personally hundreds and hundreds of times and helped thousands of companies all over the world use this in some way. So what we're going to talk about is low-cost, high-reward methods for gaining clients, the nitty-gritty of getting the best clients, step by step, and we have applications for everybody. Time to build an actual attack. So that's what we're going to be covering here today. So in a nutshell, the best buyer strategy says there's always a smaller number of ideal buyers versus all buyers, right? Just write that one down. There's always a smaller number of ideal buyers versus all buyers. Makes sense, right? So I'll tell you where I learned this. My first job in New York City was as a personnel rep. So what we would do is we would call companies, and my first job doing any kind of cold calling at all, they gave me this stack of index cards. Okay, this goes back before even the PC was even a thought in anybody's mind. And you page these index cards and you made 200 phone calls a day. Hi, this is so-and-so from XYZ Personnel Agency. Do you have any openings? Hi, this is so-and-so from XYZ Personnel Agency. Do you have any openings? And because 3% are always buying, right, you would get not 3% because just because they're buying now doesn't mean they want to buy from you, right? So maybe out of 1,000 phone calls, you might get 2 openings where their current agency is not cutting it and they need the person. So you'd get a shot. And sitting across from me was a much older woman, 40. Now seems like a young woman to me, but in those days, you know, I was 19 and I'm like, I wonder what that old lady's doing. She doesn't even have to, you know, do any cold calling because she wasn't doing any cold calling. And I said, how come you don't have to do any cold calling? She said, because I'm too busy trying to serve my current clients, so I don't have any time to do any cold calling. I said, well, how many clients do you have? I said, I have 5 clients. And I go, you only have 5 clients and you're too busy? He goes, yeah, CBS, Merrill Lynch, you know, and at any given time you call CBS and they have, you know, I don't know, 4,000 openings or whatever. So she was one of the chosen few that they had good relationships with, and they gave all their openings to maybe 4 or 5 agencies. And then every now and then, if you were a lucky jerk, you might get in an opening with CBS, and then you had to try and earn their respect or their interest. And so I'm 19 years old, I'm working in Manhattan, you know, I hitchhiked to get there. And I remember saying to myself, well, that's what I want. I just want, you know, only the big companies. So I started this concept called the best buyer strategy back, you know, 30 years ago, and ended up getting 4 or 5 of these really huge clients and ended up making a ton of money at a very early age. Then I institutionalized it when I went to work for Charlie Munger, because now it wasn't just me, where I had this dog-eared persistence where I'm just going to keep going after something until I get it. Now I had a team of people, and so we had a database. He had magazines, newspapers, and trade shows, and I started with one magazine. I ended up running 9 different divisions. And when we started, they would just willy-nilly send 2,200 flyers to 2,200 advertisers. And I did an analysis of the market, and it was 167 bought 95% of all the advertising in the marketplace. So we just started going after those guys intensively. And the first month, we didn't get any sales because they were the biggest advertisers that there were in the industry. And the second month, no sales. Third month, no sales. And I had been the #1 producer in that industry, in the whole entire industry, out of 85 magazines, and I went to this little nothing magazine, number 16 position. I mean, we had 2% of market share or something. We didn't even exist, but because it was bought by Charlie Munger, it seemed like a heck of an opportunity. And so after 4 months, and I still didn't have any sales, you could hear them whispering in the halls, are you sure this guy is any good? You know, because I hadn't had any results. But in the 5th month, I brought in the biggest advertiser in the history of the industry. Anybody ever sold advertising space? Yeah, a couple of you, right? You sell a full-page advertiser 12 times, it's a nice sale. Xerox came in for 104 four-color spreads. It was a massive sale, massive. And in fact, they went into 4 other books at the same time because I brought them into the industry, but I got the majority of the advertising. And then in the 6th month, we got 29 more. Because the way advertising works is they set a media plan and then they buy all at once. So that alone, just getting 29 of those advertisers doubled our sales. And who thinks we stopped there? Because how many did we have to go after? 167, and we only got 29 of them. So we doubled sales 3 years in a row, actually, and I got called into Charlie Munger's office. And anybody familiar with who Charlie Munger is? So Warren Buffett is the co-chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, and Charlie Munger is the other co-chairman. He joined them when there were 9 million, and now they're whatever, 100 billion or whatever, and Charlie is the co-chairman of Berkshire Hathaway. And he calls me into his office and he says, now Chet, this is exactly what he sounds like, in all my years and all the companies I've run, I've never seen anybody double business 3 years in a row. Are you sure we're not lying, cheating, or stealing? It's a real conversation I have with a billionaire. And what it was, we were using the strategy that I'm about to teach you. We went from number 16 in the market to tie for first place in 1 year for market share to double the closest competitor who was 4 times our circulation. Really should not have happened. So this strategy works better than you can imagine. It's all about going after them hard, like going after that dream client for you in a hard way. And so again, we said B2B. Who's B2B? So highly applicable for B2B, highly applicable for B2C, and if you're not, and I'm going to explain that all to you, and then if you're like the person who has the movie theater, then it's all about affiliates. It's all about how can I get, like Jay was saying, one group who would bring me a large group of potential buyers.
Hello, Amanda Holmes here, CEO of Chet Holmes International. So in this video, you're going to learn about the opportunity you have to master the fastest, least expensive way to double sales, our Dream 100, in our new, highly interactive, hands-on, practical Dream 100 Bootcamp. Also, how you could potentially win a $1,000 vacation voucher. After that, I'm going to go into the biggest mistakes that companies make when trying to win their better buyers, some case studies of how other clients have done it to double their sales. And so at the end of this video, you'll, at the very least, walk away with some good ideas on how you can grow your sales. Does that seem fair? I'm guessing you're saying yes. Okay, great. So first, a special announcement. So I was talking with one of our past boot campers 2 days ago, and they believe in this process so much, they've generated millions of dollars from the Dream 100 and the Core Story Bootcamp that they decided to gift you $1,000 off of the Dream 100 Bootcamp because they want to see you in it. It was literally shocking. I don't know if you saw the video, but I had tears in my eyes. It meant a lot to me that they believe in what we do so much. So, and they added in a $1,000 vacation voucher. So you can go to destinations all around the world. They're all mostly 4 stars according to TripAdvisor. You just have to do it within the next 18 months. And you can have a lovely vacation with you and another in a wonderful exotic environment if you want, wherever in the world. You can see it below in the video. So why is this crucial? The biggest issues facing businesses this year, according to Intuit, who did a very interesting study, generating more online sales, which would make sense, right? Pre-COVID, it would take on average 5 to 7 years for a company to get online with their marketing and sales approaches. Post-COVID, it now takes an average of 1.5 years. So imagine the push that the entire world did to get online. So obviously we want to generate more online sales and we want to improve the marketing results, because just because we're there doesn't mean that we're doing it effectively or efficiently. So what is killing marketing results? According to an SEM Rush survey, companies don't have enough time or resources to allocate to marketing. You don't have an adequate marketing budget, and companies lack clear strategy or objectives. Fascinating. So this contributes to poor lead quality and a lack of sales in the door. I don't know if you feel this or this resonates with you, right? Would you like to have highly qualified, extremely profitable dream buyers asking to give you their money and without having to compete on price? You better be saying yes. Okay. So for those that are familiar with the Dream 100 concept, give me 2 seconds and let me back it up and explain a bit of this history for where did the Dream 100 come from. So my father originated it with billionaire Charlie Munger, who's the co-chairman of Berkshire Hathaway. He doubled the sales of 9 different divisions for Charlie, all within 12 to 15 months. Several of them doubled multiple years consecutively. So he realized that he had a gift for creating a system that could be repeated over and over and over again to generate sales. That's why the Dream 100 is something that you can master over the next decade. Like one of our clients, Carrie Warburg Block of Earthkind, she has grown 40% year over year for the last decade because she never puts her foot off of the gas of her Dream 100. So to bring it down into the easiest of essence, the Dream 100, the definition is, there's always a smaller number of best buyers than there are all buyers. That means that marketing and selling to them is cheaper than marketing and selling to all buyers, right? It's pretty simple. So how many of you generate leads and feel that you're generating so many leads that are unqualified? This is what my father realized when he got a list of 2,200 potential advertisers and they just said, okay, go cold call them. When he examined those 2,200 advertisers, he realized that 95% of the market was purchased by only 167. So he led a Dream 100 effort to those 167. And it was very systematized how he would follow up. So the first 4 months, he got not one sale, which for anybody that doesn't have big-headed discipline and determination, they would have given up. In the 6th month, he closed the largest contract that the industry had ever seen. He then brought in 28 more. They doubled sales 3 years in a row, just by doing this very focused Dream 100. Now, we've created a modern evolution of my father's Dream 100 system for doubling sales. So the Dream 100 Bootcamp assists you to identify qualified prospects, not just anyone, your best clients. How to know where to find them once you've identified who they are. How to learn clever ways to grab their attention, to break through the clutter and gain a level of trust that is unprecedented. How to follow up like a dream without feeling obnoxious or pushy so you can win their business and transform your life. Because this isn't just about generating a paycheck, it's about looking at you as a whole individual. So in the next 30 days, you will have a stronger online presence that attracts your Dream 100. You'll have a true dream buyer list. You'll have a framework for how to grab their interest and build credibility and earn respect for your dream from your dream buyers. And a process that at its most basic form doesn't cost you a dime. So I'm going to show you the basics so you can implement it immediately. We'll be implementing it together. So the 3 biggest mistakes when generating qualified leads, as we said before, right? Time, money, and a solid strategy. So we've made this even easier for you using our proprietary teaching formula. Learn it, build it, use it. So you'll learn it while we're on the call, you'll build it while we're there, and we'll all hold you accountable as we do it together. How awesome is that? With companies and executives all around the world, in every kind of different industry, it's so much fun. So we did this with the Core Story Bootcamp just a few months ago, and Troy Aberley generated $12 million in 2 weeks after the bootcamp with just 4 clients. So he used the core story that he built in that course bootcamp. Then he went out to his better buyers. It's such an amazing story. If you haven't seen that case study, I highly recommend it. So there is a smarter way to go about generating sales, right? Would you have thought, oh, 4 clients, I could generate $12 million. Majority of businesses don't. They think, okay, how can I get 5,000 people into my pipeline? And then from that 5,000, I can get another 500 that might click. And then maybe 10 of those will schedule an appointment and I'll cold call them and we'll see what we can, right? This makes it so much more simple. Let's get a solid strategy. So if we did this for you, a Dream 100 can get very complex. At its most advanced form, It's multiple touch points. It's marketing and sales working seamlessly together, which we know majority of the time, marketing is yelling at sales and sales is yelling at marketing, right? Sales is saying, I don't have qualified leads. Marketing is saying, you're wasting my qualified leads, right? The endless battle between the two. So when you have a proper Dream 100 running, a truly expert, it has direct mail, it has email automations, it has targeted ads, it has sales follow-ups, it has social media touches, the works. So when we do that for you and it's executed at a very advanced level, it can be as high as a $297,000 investment. For a company that sells high-end products or services, it makes sense because we do it all the time and it ensures a better success rate for you. So they get the ROI. Luckily, the Dream 100 Bootcamp is now only $997 or 2 payments of $550. Plus, you get a $1,000 vacation voucher for the next 30 who purchase. So the way that that works is that hotels sit vacant for much of the seasons. So depending on the season, this company has been able to get a $200 room from a 4-star hotel, and all you have to pay is taxes. So you get some beautiful resort. There's many different locations all around the world, and it's valued at $1,000. So why not take this opportunity to get a vacation for you and one other, your loved one, whoever that may be. Do you need a vacation? Because 60% of business owners haven't taken a vacation since the start of COVID. Oof, man, when I saw that stat, I couldn't even believe it. Hotel accommodations, like I said, depending on where you stay in the world, it could be 3 nights or 8 nights, depending. You have 18 months to redeem your travel. Most hotels, like I said, are rated at 4 stars or above, according to TripAdvisor. These are not timeshare presentations, so you are not required to sit for a presentation during your stay. I mean, you could go anywhere. You could go to Mexico. You could go all over Australia. There's plenty of different places, from the Gold Coast to Brisbane to Sydney. You could go to international places like Bali, London, Thailand, a bunch of New Zealand, United States, I mean, all over. You can read them all below, but Atlanta, Georgia, Yosemite, Las Vegas, Fort Lauderdale, Nashville, Orlando, New York City, Daytona Beach, Charleston, Cape Cod, you name it. So when I asked for a poll, what would you want? Everyone voted for, I want 2 hours a day for 4 days. So that's what we're giving you. And because we have 9 different time zones, we have people that have already purchased from Trinidad, Singapore, Australia, a bunch from Australia, London, United States. We had to accommodate all these different time zones. We have some in India as well. So you can either attend cohort A, which is from 12 to 2 Eastern, or cohort B from 7 to 9 Eastern. So if you're in London, you probably want to be in cohort A. If you're in Malaysia or Southeast Asia, you would probably want to be in cohort B. If you're in Brazil, you could actually do either. It works for Brazil. Australia, we recommend cohort B, although we did have Australians joining cohort A. It's just in the middle of the night for them. For India, cohort A, right? So 4 days to build the campaign, and then 1 hour a week, we hold you accountable. We get on the call together and we all reach out on the call. How awesome is that? If you were worried, oh, how do I get started? Oh, I'm not quite sure. Oh, I need some momentum. Oh, I'm really feeling in a rut right now. The whole world is in burnout right now. It's happening. It's not just one person. So let's build the community so that we can do this together and we can rise up together. The elevated Dream 100. Okay. And because this is my why, this is why I do Chet Holmes International, because of the experience that I had with losing my father at 55, I truly believe that mental wellness and physical wellness and really taking care of your health is crucial. So a percentage of all my proceeds goes back to mental wellness programs held by the nonprofit Divine Bliss International. So centers are located around the world to assist people to find their purpose, their passion, expand their minds, and heal. I spent a ton of time there under my mentor, my spiritual mentor, Sarvaloka Ma, Guruji Punamji. So when you give and when you buy, you're giving to somebody else. And if you felt like there might be a risk, I'll take that all away for you. So if after day 2, you're unhappy, I'll give you your money back. No questions asked, no problem. I know you'll love it. We haven't had that experience. Everyone has loved it, so you'll be okay. And then you can just scroll down the page. If you're saying, yes, I'm ready to join the Dream 100 Bootcamp, you can go ahead and pick which option you want for payment and sign up right now because you want to get your vacation voucher before someone else takes your spot, okay? Now, for those of you that are still wondering, well, I'd like to learn a little bit more. Here are the biggest mistakes that happen with Dream when you're trying to win your dream clients, your better buyers. Number 1, this is the hardest thing for people to understand. And yet the market data proves that the biggest problem with marketing is actually generating qualified leads. You have the hardest time for that, especially when you're looking on social media, when you're looking on LinkedIn. It happens to everyone. And that's because we haven't properly identified who is our Dream 100 list. What truly makes a Dream 100? Ryan Romano went through a boot camp similar to this a couple of years ago, and he realized that he was actually marketing to the wrong group of people, and he'd been in business for years. He was marketing to his students. He teaches student athletes how to get into college scholarships. And he was marketing to the children instead of marketing to the adults that pay for that. When he switched that approach, he also had multiple different Dream 100 lists. He started going after universities to win them as clients. And they actually grew their company 95% in sales in the first month, and they continued to grow. Ryan's a rock star. Number 2, you've missed the opportunities that are right in front of you because majority of businesses are poor at managing their data. You don't even analyze what is right under your nose. So we're going to help you with that in the bootcamp. Number 3, we call it the me-we syndrome. So you are perpetually talking about, hey, I'd love to talk to you about how great we are. We're the best. There's nobody like us. Our competition pales in comparison, right? So talking about you will only get the 3% of that buyer's pyramid that are interested in you right now. So we're going to show you how to do it better. Okay? 80% of sales are made in the 5th to 12th contact, and yet 90% of salespeople stop after 3 touches. Would you like to learn a way that's not pushy, that can be followed up with, that's easy and effortless and natural? Number 4, fortune is in the follow-up. Ooh. So if you don't have a natural way to follow up past 8 touches, you shouldn't even be trying, okay? So there is a very simple way to follow up without being obnoxious, and I'm going to share it in the Dream 100 Bootcamp, and we're actually going to role play on it. So when I first started my Dream 100 journey 10 years ago, I heard, my father worked with 60 of the Fortune 500 as clients. So I thought, all right, here I go. I'm going to go find some Fortune 500 clients. So I started winning Fortune 500 clients. And then I thought, well, I should go after the biggest, best, the ones that have 1 million followers, the ones that have 5 million followers, the ones that have hundreds of thousands in their database. So I won them as clients and I had them promote for me. And yet these scenarios were I just felt like I kept missing the mark. So what truly is a Dream 100? They could generate a ton of money, but if they're your biggest headache, is it really worth it? They could generate a ton of money, but they're not getting the results that make them a raving fan. They could generate a ton of money, but to actually implement can take a lot of work. With the Fortune 500, you have so many pieces. There's so much red tape. It can be really difficult to move a Fortune 500 company. You really have to have a champion on the inside that can make changes. Because if you're here to assist and elevate and nobody can change, what's the point, right? So they could create tons of leads for you, but none of them are qualified leads. So was it really worth it? They may have a big name, but behind the scenes, they're ruthless and untrustworthy. So was that really worth it? So that's when I started getting smarter about who my Dream 100 really is. because bigger isn't always better. It takes more than just revenue to make a Dream 100. It takes profitability. It takes similar core values. Wouldn't you like to work with people that have similar belief systems? We can orchestrate this if we just identified it, right? And majority of companies don't take the time to identify that. They're fun to work with. Wow, what a concept. What if I could actually architect a campaign where I get to work with people that are fun and engaging and entertaining, and they fill me up and build me up instead of breaking me down and sucking the life force out of me. They get great results from your product or service. Wow, how great would that be if we just focused on the people that are the happiest when they work with you? So your Dream 100 isn't just about doubling your sales. Your Dream 100 can create your dream life. So I was taking screenshots of my meetings last week with some of my clients. So that's why they look so strange on the screen. But I'm looking around realizing, oh my God, I have created my dream life with my clients. I'm so lucky. Russell Brunson, he has 1 million followers online. He has completely changed the game for entrepreneurs around the world, creating online funnels with ClickFunnels. They grew $100 million in 4 years. And one of their most successful strategies was the Dream 100. So he's a client right now. They're getting a course story. So I get to work with Russell Brunson. I'm so grateful. He's such a wonderful human being at his core. I'm also grateful that I get to work with the gentleman all the way in the right corner, FMCP. They're a $56 billion health insurance fund. He wants to be the #1 health insurance fund in America. And he believes that health insurance right now really helps. It builds sick plans instead of wellness plans. So let's change healthcare, which, watching my father die at 55 of cancer, I got to see that system pretty intimately. And I'm very passionate about how can we change our health here in America and across the world. That's also why a portion of the proceeds go to a healing center, So I also get to work with Michael Allard, who assists with elderly in his center. So an average elder, so it's said that 75% of elderly are alone in their worlds. And that attributes to a shorter lifespan, all of these issues. In his centers, 1 in every 9 individuals is lonely. 1 in every 9, from 75, from the majority being lonely to a very fraction of it. Benton House. I'm so grateful that I get to work with, empower, and assist these brilliant entrepreneurs around the world. Life's too short to work with people that are too difficult or people that you're not in alignment with. So that's what we're creating in the Elevated Dream 100 Bootcamp. And that's why we called it the Elevated Dream 100 Bootcamp. I'll never forget the conversation that I had with my father. He obviously traveled around the world speaking, public speaker. And after his bone marrow transplant, he was confined to this small hospital room for 2 months to rebuild his immune system. And I'll never forget, he was sitting in the corner of the room and he looked out the window and he said, "For all the money that I've amassed, nothing can buy my way out of this hospital room." And I've spent years trying to forget that moment because it was so painful. But it also has defined me and it has invigorated. It's a part of me now. And that's what I want to bring to the Dream 100. I want to give you the kind of tools where you observe and realize that you can build a life where you're not working such insane hours that it's absurd. What if you only had to get 4 clients to get $12 million? What if there were just 4 people that could change your world? We had Purple Line. They got 1 meeting. It landed them a strategic partner that generated them $30 million a year. That's the potential. It's leverage, right? How do we get smarter about our strategy? How do we follow a framework that's been proven? And then also, I've innovated it so I can teach how this works online today. So you can utilize all of these tools that my father never had. So that's my goal. That's my why. And I really have 2 main influences here I have to acknowledge. So my father, the ultimate sales machine, and my spiritual teacher, Sarvaloka Guruji Punamji. She specializes in assisting people to find their true purpose. So I'm blending these into the Dream 100 Bootcamp. So how would you like to set yourself apart from the sea of competition online? If your Dream 100 found you online right now, would they be intrigued or would they be disappointed? So the first day, we're going to work on shifting your online presence so it's in alignment and you look like a rock star. On the second day, we're going to assist in building out the Dream 100 list, really defining it like you've never thought of before. I mean, going through step by step by step, so that you factor in all factors: profitability, ease of sale, truly aligned with your goals, your real goals, not just, oh, okay, I want this. But why do you want it? Let's dig deeper, right? Then the next day, we're going to really dive into data, find those that are in your world that you don't even know about, and add them to the list. And then getting into their heads and really following a pathway for how to become their trusted advisor. Somebody that you feel is so out of your reach, then becoming a trusted advisor where they're looking to you for expertise. I tell you, I never would have thought that Russell Brunson would be coming to me asking for my expertise, but we know Core Story better than anybody in the world, right? So how to convert 7 times of your prospects using social selling. We're not only am I going to teach you, right? We're going to build our process for how to deploy on social. And then we're actually going to role play it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it all together on these calls for the 1 hour a week afterwards. So at its most basic form, this won't cost you a dime to implement, huh? It's just the course Bootcamp, which, by the way, has been discounted because of your special sponsor that took care of you, like I said. And it's just amazing. It's such an amazing opportunity. $1,000 vacation voucher to anywhere. Man, I would love to go to the Grand Canyon right now. I think I will award myself that after this event. Akshat from India said, I'm going to Bali after I build my Dream 100 campaign and start deploying it. So here's what some of our other boot campers have said. Pablo Gonzalez, he had said that he was in a rut before the last boot camp. Then he went through the boot camp. In the first week, he used what we taught him and he recouped his whole investment in the first week. But that was because he was quick and he was taking action immediately. If you're quick to take action, if you're looking for ways to work smarter, this is for you. I'll tell you right now, if you are very happy with what you're doing and you don't want to change it, this isn't for you. I would not recommend this because this will be a place where it challenges you to rise to another level. So if you don't want to go to another level, I wouldn't recommend it. I actually would say it would hold back the rest of the group, so don't attend. If you are hungry to evolve, if you have a thirst for knowledge, if you want to see a revenue growth that you haven't been experiencing, if you want to do it with greater ease, yes, join this boot camp with a group of people, right? There's a community here. We'll have everyone in a Facebook group, which has been so wonderful. I've seen so many from the past boot camp picking up other clients throughout the group. You pick up other clients because, oh, I do this, oh, I do that. And you're pitching each other in the session. So everybody starts to hear, oh, he does that. Oh, she does what? Right? So there's a loving community because I want nothing else than that. I want a safe environment, and that's what I create, and I hold that very dear. So I want that for you. And that's what I'm extending. I'm extending my family to be part of your family. So we're only a couple days away now. Go ahead and sign up below, and I'll see you in the bootcamp.
The Elevated Dream 100 Bootcamp. Visit thedream100.com. That is thedream100.com. Subscribe for more videos. Claim your free Chapter 4 of The Ultimate Sales Machine. This chapter helps you get 9 times more impact from every move you make. Visit ultimatesalesmachine.com. This has been the CEO Mastery Podcast, brought to you by The Ultimate Sales Machine.